Do you want to discover the secret behind the unparalleled success of some of the world's most accomplished individuals? In this video, we will unravel the enigmatic concept of the unfair advantage that sets apart those who have truly mastered the art of living a purposeful and enriched life. Lesson 1. Mastering the mind. The mind is seen as the source of both pain and freedom in Buddhism. How our mind sees the world around us determines everything we feel, including happiness, sadness, success, and failure. We can find real success if we learn to control our thoughts. Smart people have learned to keep their thoughts in check, even if they aren't aware of it. They have learned to keep calm when things go wrong, to see problems as chances to learn, and to stay focused on their goals even when there are other things that want to take their attention. Mindfulness is a practice that comes from Buddhism and teaches us to be aware of our feelings and thoughts without letting them rule us. Buddhism says that meditation is one of the most important things we can do to free our minds. We learn to watch our thoughts without getting caught up in them when we meditate. We start to understand how short-lived and temporary our thoughts are. We can learn to let go of negative thought habits and think more positively and constructively with regular practice. Mindfulness or meditation is something that a lot of successful people do, even if they don't call it that. They can stay focused, calm, and in the present moment because of this practice. These are all important skills for making smart choices and being successful. By controlling their minds, they don't let outside events easily affect them. They can stay calm inside even when things are crazy, which sets them apart from people who are always responding to what's going on around them. You can think clearly when you learn to control your thoughts. Clear thinking lets you see things as they really are, without the cloud of emotions or preconceived ideas getting in the way. Instead of fear or want, you can make choices based on what you know. This is Buddhism's unfair advantage. If you can master your mind, you can control your inner world, which in turn affects the outside world. Mindfulness and meditation are two easy ways for anyone to learn how to master their thoughts, which is the key to real success. You don't have to try to control every thought. Instead, you should learn to watch and understand how the mind works. When you control your mind, you can do anything you set your mind to. Lesson 2. Being separated from results. Attachment. Attachment to things, people, ideas, and most importantly, results, is one of the main things that makes our lives painful. It's not the same thing to give up on life or not care about anything in Buddhism. Instead, it's about learning not to worry so much about how things should go. Our culture is focused on getting things done. Focusing on certain results, like getting a raise, making a certain amount of money, or being noticed, is something we are told all the time. There is nothing wrong with having goals, but it is when we become too attached to them that things go wrong. We start to think that getting them will make us happy and successful. This connection makes me feel anxious, stressed, and angry. It keeps us pushing all the time, and we're never really happy with it. Buddhism teaches us that everything changes over time. Things change all the time. Everything in our lives, from our successes to our mistakes, is only temporary. We set ourselves up for disappointment when we hold on too tightly to a result we want. This is because we are trying to hold on to something that is always changing. In Buddhist thought, detachment means giving up the need to control what happens. Being angry doesn't mean you stop caring or don't do anything. It only means that you try your best and let go of the need for things to go a certain way. This is the secret edge that a lot of great people have. They only think about the process and the things they can change. You can stop worrying about what if and what should be all the time when you learn to separate yourself from the results. You become more adaptable and flexible, so you can handle anything that life throws at you. You can stay calm and make better choices when things don't go as planned if you can change how you think and feel. People who are successful know, whether they are aware of it or not, that being attached to results can stop them from moving forward. They understand that they can't control everything. Once they accept this, they can focus on what really matters, doing what they need to do, getting better, and enjoying the trip. This state of not having any attachments is called equanimity in Buddhism. It means being able to stay calm and balanced, no matter what is going on around you. If you practice serenity, you can work toward your goals without feeling rushed to get a certain result. In a strange way, this state of not caring about anything often makes you even more successful because you aren't held back by fear or anger. When you stop caring about what will happen, you gain inner freedom that lets you face problems with courage and understanding. You understand that success isn't always about getting a certain result, but about living your life each day with meaning, peace, and purpose. Lesson 3. Getting past your ego. One of the biggest things that gets in the way of spiritual growth and real success is the ego. Buddhism sees the ego as the false self, or the part of us that holds on to names, identities, and wants. This is the voice inside that is always looking for acceptance, validation, and to be better than other people. The ego keeps us stuck in a cycle of competition, envy, and unhappiness because it makes us feel separate from the world around us. Buddhism says that the ego is not real. It's not really who we are. The ego makes us think that our worth is based on what we've done, what we own, our status, and how other people see us. But these things only last a short time and can never really please us. We keep wanting and needing more and never feeling like we are enough as long as we feed our ego. People who have gotten past their egos know that real success doesn't come from approval from others, but from being happy inside. They are not pushed by the need to show off or compare what they have done to others. Not for attention, but for their own sense of purpose. They are focused on their own growth and becoming the best versions of themselves. Being humble is one of the most important lessons in Buddhism. You understand you are not separate from other people when you get rid of your ego. No one is better or worse than you. Being humble helps you connect with others more deeply, work together instead of against them, and lead with kindness instead of pride. Another important part of getting past the ego is being authentic. People who are successful and have let go of their ego act in a real way. To please other people, they don't put on masks or try to be someone they're not. When people are honest with themselves, success comes easily to them. Since being real is so rare and strong in a world full of fakes, people are drawn to it. The ego loves to compare things. It tells us all the time that we need to be better than other people to feel good about ourselves. But Buddhism tells us that comparing things is a trap. It keeps our attention on success as seen by other people instead of our own growth. You don't have to constantly compare yourself to other people when you let go of comparison. You start to think about your own road, your own journey, and what success means to you. This is another unfair edge that a lot of successful people have. What other people are doing doesn't bother them. They are fully focused on their own morals and goals. You can have a life with more peace, happiness, and success if you can get rid of your ego. You no longer need to look for approval from other people because you have a strong sense of self-worth that doesn't depend on them. Lesson 4. Being alone and quiet. People in our busy world often think of silence and stillness as treats or even as signs of being alone. But in Buddhism, being alone and in silence are very helpful for growing and learning about yourself. They give us the space we need to get in touch with our true selves and grow the knowledge that will help us succeed. For Buddhists, silence is more than just not hearing anything. It's being aware of everything. There is a loss of connection with our inner wisdom when there is constant noise around us, whether it's from the outside world or our own thoughts. When we are quiet, our minds can clear and we can hear the deeper facts inside ourselves. A lot of successful people know how important it is to be quiet. In the middle of their busy lives, they find time to get away from the noise, think, and recover. They get clear on their goals, mission, and next steps while they are alone. It's not just about being physically quiet. They're also trying to clear their minds and hearts so they don't need to be stimulated or distracted all the time. In Buddhism, being alone is also an important part of the spiritual road. We can really face ourselves when we are alone. We can connect with our real selves when we don't have to worry about what other people think or the needs of the outside world. We get the strength to face our fears, doubts, and wants when we are alone. It is a place where deep inner change can happen. People who are successful often say that their times of silence were when they learned the most and made the most important discoveries. Getting alone can help you see the bigger picture when life gets too busy. From that point of view, you can make choices based on wisdom instead of emotion. Inner peace is one of the best things that silence and solitude can do for you. Inner peace is hard to find and very valuable in a world that is always changing and expecting more from us. It's what real success is built on because it keeps us grounded no matter what goes on around us. Buddhism says that real peace doesn't come from outside conditions, but from inside. We can learn to have this inner peace by accepting silence and being alone. We rely less on other people's approval or the achievement of outside goals. We feel deeply happy that the ups and downs of life don't shift our happiness. We find our own strength, wisdom, and way when we are alone and in silence. Many successful people have an unfair advantage. They know how to tune out the noise and connect with their true selves. They find the peace and focus that help them be truly successful this way. Lesson 5. How to get over your fear and anxiety. Fear and worry are two of the biggest things that get in the way of success. They hold us back, keep us in our safety zones, and stop us from taking the risks we need to in order to reach our goals. Buddhism says that getting over fear and worry is an important part of the spiritual path. We can build the guts and toughness we need for real success by learning to face and get past these feelings. Buddhism says that fear is often caused by false beliefs. It's scary to think about things that haven't happened yet, or to lose things that are important to us. We feel afraid because we care about what will happen and want to be in charge of the future. The truth is, though, that we can't know what will happen in the future. The more we try to be sure of something, the more fear and stress we make. Successful people know that fear is a part of life, but they don't let it run their lives. They know how to face their fears, be okay with not knowing what will happen, and act even though they are scared. What gives some people an unfair edge is that they don't let fear stop them from going after their dreams. Being mindful is one of the best ways to get over fear and worry. Mindfulness in Buddhism means being fully present in the present moment without judging it or getting attached to it. Being aware lets us see our worries and fears without getting caught up in them. We learn to recognize them for what they are, feelings that come and go and don't make us who we are. Mindfulness is something that a lot of successful people do, whether they meditate or just stay present in their daily lives. They can stay relaxed and focused even when things are stressful. Because they do this, because it clears their minds, they can make smart choices instead of ones that are based on fear or worry. Letting go of the need to control everything is another important part of getting over fear and anxiety. This has a lot to do with the Buddhist practice of non-attachment. We cause ourselves anxiety when we are attached to certain results or the need for things to be a certain way. We worry that we will lose what we have or not get what we want. Let go of the need to be in charge. That's what successful people have learned. They think about what they can do instead of worrying about what will happen. This makes them brave enough to take chances and leave their comfort zones without being scared. They have faith that they can handle anything that comes their way. Practicing Buddhism tells us to be open to the unknown. There are many things we don't know in life, and trying to avoid or control them makes us more anxious. Successful people know that there will be times when things don't go as planned. They are ready to face the unknown and take risks because they know this is where growth and chance are. When you get over your fears and worries, you have the courage to go after your goals without being held back by doubt or fear. The unfair edge that successful people have is that they have learned to face their fears, accept confusion, and act bravely when they don't know what to do. It's not a secret formula or a hidden chance that successful people don't tell you about that gives them an unfair edge. Thoughts and ways of being in the world that come from the spiritual lessons of Buddhism. You can find real success by controlling your mind, letting go of results, defeating your ego, embracing solitude and silence, and getting over fear and anxiety. These lessons show you how to find inner peace, strength, and clarity. This will not only help you get rich, but it will also give you a life with meaning, fulfillment, and lasting happiness. The path to success starts inside of you. You learn that true success is not something you get. It's something you become when you follow these lessons.